Well, hello. Welcome to the Mini Charm Bow Sew Along. This is Nancy from Pink Sand Beach Designs. Welcome to our sewing studio. I'm going to be showing you exactly how to make these cute little mini charm bows. And this is the newest one we just got in, and we'll be putting up all our kits at the end of the show. Now, this is a pre-recorded sew along. But when it goes live for the first time, we will be in the chat and able to answer questions with you. But the advantage is that it will be up forever. We're going to put it on YouTube and we're putting it on Facebook in our app. So if you are watching on YouTube, you want to go over to our website, pinksandbeachdesigns.com, to get any of the kits or notions that we talk about at the end of the sew along. So let's get going, right? Okay, let me just show you a couple of these bows. You can just make them with any of your favorite mini charms. You can also cut your scraps to 2.5-inch squares. We do have the pattern up. That will be item A, and that's up through the whole sew along. And then I'll go into the notions and the kits at the end. So let's get going. And I'm going to sew this one because I am making multiple bows to put on my Christmas tree.
So cute.
So my daughter Michelle is with me. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, everyone. I'm going to be behind the camera.
Yep. And okay, this is what you need to start. You need a mini charm pack. You need a background fabric, and the pattern will show you what to cut. You're going to cut a big long piece that will be the bow part, the top part of the bow. It'll be the back of it. And you're going to cut two smaller rectangles that will be the ties. Okay, these will be the tie on the bow. And then I am going to give you some of my tips for little things to make it even easier. For the little loop here at the bow, they said to use 2 charms. I didn't want to do that. I just used 2 pieces of the back fabric because I thought that was cute. So you could either use 2 charms and one of these, or cut 2 pieces for that little bow loop. So you have your mini charm pack, you have the back parts, and I would say my favorite thing is I recommend you sew this together with the fusible grid. And you know me, I just love the grid. So this is 2.5-inch grid, and we're going to cut it um, to it's 10 squares across by 2 down. All right, so it's going to look longer than the background piece.
Look it around and let's
But
see if we can see the lines a little better. Can you guys see those lines? Yeah, there you go. So it has the 2.5-inch grid lines. So this will be your best friend for this project.
Yes, this will be for the bow part. And then I cut 2 pieces that are 5 squares down by 2 across for the ties. Okay, so with that, we are ready to start on this project.
All right.
So let me.
Now you will need the pattern, so make sure you get that. It's
Yeah.
sold A.
Let me talk a little bit about how the grid works. So let's go over and look at it a little more closely here.
All right.
Are we switched?
We are switched.
Okay.
All right.
So let me show you this grid. So the back side, you actually can see the printing a little bit better. The front side is, you'll feel little bumpy dots. That's the fusible. But it's 2.5-inch squares. So you're going to place your mini charms on it. And what I like about the grid is I can place these charms in the order I want, and then we're going to fuse it down. And then I don't lose that when I sew it. So I'm going to show you how easy that works.
Now you're putting them on the fusible side, right?
I'm putting them on the fusible side, the bumpy side. So I have my bow line. It's going to take you longer to decide how you want to lay out your squares on your grid. than sewing the whole project because that's the cutest part. So let me move this over. Let me put this over and let me show you what it looks like, how I laid out this pack. And the pack we're using is Merrily on High by Sweetfire Road. So the bow part, I want to talk a little bit about this. The bow is 10 squares. In the middle at the fifth square, so let me start on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is actually the middle of the bow. And the only squares that are going to show on the front of your bow are the 3 squares to either side. So your 2 totally edge ones are going to be in the back.
So you can use some of the little
So
blenders.
see how I just put the leftovers on the back. All right. And then I put my cutest ones that I like I wanted these little gingerbread people to show, and I like that.
The snowflakes.
And then this is going to bunch up in the center of your bow. So way over here at this edge, I just put some of the leftovers.
Perfect.
Okay, now I marked bow, and this is the right side, and bow, this is the left side. I use our little
handy dots,
okay, to be able to stick on and mark this because I want to make sure that I remember what the top of the bow was in my layout versus the bottom. Okay, so I've marked the big piece, and then you're just going to iron them down with your iron. Okay, so I have ironed, let me iron some more of these. So you iron this, and now if this falls on the ground, you don't lose your layout.
That's
It's all
smart.
together. Okay, so we've done the bow. And then let me talk about the 2 tails. I laid out my tails, the right and the left, right and left. Helps if I put them on the right side. And I kind of looked at how I wanted the colors to be. For example, this green over here is up on the 3rd step down, where this green I put on the 4th.
Oh, okay.
So, like, we wouldn't want 2 reds right across. It's up to you. Also, it's good to put some of your whites in with your colors because it just makes the bow a little bit.
Gives it a little sparkle.
So, see, here's the finished bow. Then I marked, because I want to keep the orientation, the bottom part of the bow is actually going to be cut with the little point here. So this will be cut off. So the bottom 2 are ones that are going to be at the bottom of the tail and should be ones that you don't mind cutting. Okay. And so I don't turn this around. I mark at the top. This is the left tail of the bow, and this is the right tail of the bow. So you're going to press them all, and now you're ready to get sewing on these. So let me get the sewing, and we will get over to the other camera as soon as I can get Michelle to do that. So let me get this out. So we're ready to switch over now.
All right.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
I already flipped it on
Yes,
you.
that's right. Okay. So now what I want to do is show you how to sew the grid. This one is already sewn and ironed. This one is unsewn. So let me show that here and here. So sewn, unsewn. So what I want to do is I'm going to sew across all these short rows, and then I'm going to do the long row. So that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. So we're going to fold it down and sew 1/4 inch seams. And what I like about the grid is all your joins will be perfectly matched this way, and all your fabrics, you're not going to turn them upside down. You have them all ironed in place. So let me do these seams. And I'll go back and forth. And I'm working on the left tail right now. So I did the first seam. Let me do the next one. And I'm just folding it between the squares on the grid. And this is a lightweight fusible, so it's going to give your bow a little bit of stability too. But look how easy it is to sew these. Let me get a few. And one more. Okay, so I've done the 4 rows seams. Okay, so do you see the 4 rows?
Mhm.
Yeah. So now what I'm going to do, because I'm going to press one of these sides down and the other up, I'm going to snip them in between at each of the joints.
So what does it do by snipping? Like,
It allows me to be able to press the seams like this
oh, okay.
to get some seams up and some seams down. So let's go over to the other camera and then I can show them how I do that.
All right.
All right. So are we switched?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're going to snip here. I'm just snipping. And then that will allow me to press the seams one way and the other. Okay. So I've snipped them and I want to press one seam up and one seam down so they nest.
Okay.
It's just, I know I'm using the fusible now. So, but this is how you would do it if you just sewed them without the fusible. Okay, so I just pressed that all the way up. And then let me turn this one around. And I'm going to press this the other way. And I'm using my little teeny portable pressing iron for this. So, okay, now what I want to do, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to press this really good. I want these seams nice and flat, just the way you normally would if you had pieced it. And now what I'm going to do is fold this over and sew that seam.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go over and get that seam sewn.
Okay, let me switch it back
There.
over.
Michelle gets to do the switching here.
And you're just stitching
I'm doing a 1/4 inch seam
1/4 inch seam. Okay.
all the way the length of the bow. And I am back tacking at the top and the bottom. Now I am using a 9014 needle and I'm on a 2.5 inch stitch length, just in case. Okay, so you can see I did up and down and now I just need to press this to one side. So let me.
You want me to flip the camera?
Yeah. Let me go over and press it here. You can press them open, but it's a little more work and it's not necessary. Just press it to the side.
Now you can also iron right over those handy dots.
Yes, I am.
They won't damage the fabric.
Right. That's what we like about the handy dots. Okay, so what I have now is a sewn set of the left tail, the right tail, and I also pre-sewed the bow just to give us some time. Okay, and I'm leaving my dots on. This is the left side of the bow, and that's the right. All right. So these are, you can see all of these are pressed, but look what the grid did. They're just perfect joins at every mini charm.
I love that.
So, yeah. So at this point, what you're going to have is a left tail in its matching background. which I just put it there. You're going to have a right tail and its matching background. And then you're going to have that long piece of back for the bow. And the other little piece that you're going to have is that little tie that will be at the end. Okay, you don't have to do anything with that yet. So let's now go to the next step, and we'll stay here under this camera. So let me keep these here. Once you get going on these little bows, you're just going to have so much fun. Okay, so what I want to do now is I am going to mark what will end up being the bottom point of this tail.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do here before I do any sewing of the side seams to the lining. Is basically what we're doing. So I'm going to put right sides together. I have my back of my bow. I have the sewn mini charms. And I am going to lay them on top of each other. And I am going to now mark how I'm going to sew that little point. So this is kind of a key point because when I was first merely sewing away, I made the mistake. So I want to talk to you about it. If you look at this bottom two, here's the join right here.
Mm-hmm.
So put a little dot here. That's the join on those two blocks. And that is where I want the seam to be. So I'm going to mark, I'm using my cute little Moda celebrating 50 years of Moda ruler. It's just a good size for these little things. And I'm marking the seam line here and here.
So you're just going right out to the corner.
Yeah, to make sure. Because originally I just went and cut them and I cut them wrong. So I want you to mark them like this. And then this ruler has a 1/4 inch line. So you're going to mark a 1/4 inch over. That'll be where we're going to cut the seam allowance. And I want you to mark a 1/4 inch here. So that's what we're going to cut off. And this is what we're going to sew. I want you to do it for both tails. Now, to save time, I already sewed this one. This is what you're going to end up with. Okay. So I want to sew this and show you how I did it. So I'm going to put just 2 pins to just hold it a little bit in place for this side seam. And then let me put 2 pins here. And again, what I'm pinning is the back of the tail to right sides together.
Okay.
Okay. So super, super easy. Okay, so there it's pinned. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut on this line for the 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm just going to remove that. And then I'm going to sew on that first line that I made. That will be when I'm going to go around the edge and sew here. So before I do that, I'm going to also mark what to do on the top part of this bow.
Okay.
So, and we'll see if this little camera can show what I'm going to try to explain to you. Okay, so we have the back of the top of the bow. And we have the front of the top of the bow. See, here's the left and the right. I want to mark here on the bottom side of the bow. This pattern had a really fun way of attaching the ties to the bow.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of making them 2 separate units that you bunch up into the bow, they actually have you fit them in and sew them. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Taking my little ruler here, and I'm going to mark a 1/2 inch in, and then I'm going to mark 1 1/2 inch I'll put that there as the opening.
Okay.
Because I'm going to sew here and then all the way across the bottom. And then I'm going to do the same little mark at the other edge. And these are ultimately where I'm going to shove those little ties.
The little tails of the bow?
Tails in. Okay. And I think the pattern said to leave a 2-inch opening, but I preferred a 1.5-inch opening because it made the ties look cuter. It bunched the
Well, you always have to make it your own.
I know. I never do it according to the pattern. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just put a couple pins in, and then we'll go over to the sewing machine and I will sew the bow part for you and the tails.
Now, a key point is to make sure you put those notches on the bottom side of the bow, not the top.
Right, of the tails.
No, because if you put that on the top side, when you flip it around, your bow would be upside down than how you laid it out.
I want to double check, see that I had put that up. Yeah, because you don't want to put the holes in the top.
Yeah, especially if you have directional fabric.
So
but that's what a seam ripper is for if you do that, right?
Yeah, I have my seam ripper ready. So, okay, so we're going to sew the top edge is going to just be all the way across. The bottom, we're going to skip right at these points here. And actually, let me move this over a little bit. And this side area is open. You're not
stitching the side.
Yeah, we're not stitching the sides. We're going to stitch that at the very end. Okay, let's switch over to the sewing machine.
All right.
All right, you guys. So I sewed one of these tails already, and I'm going to sew the other one. This is the one, see where I marked where the seam is going to be and where I'm going to pivot. I'm going to sew down the side. The top is left open, this top part. Okay. Let me do that, and then I'll show you the big bow part.
Okay.
So, and we're almost done with this project. After we sew, I'm going to show you how you put the little ties into the bow and finish it off. And you have a cute little bow here. So let me get this sewn in.
Well, and that's the fun thing about this project. You'll get it done really quickly.
You get it done really quickly because you use the grid. And if your dog or cat comes in, they can't mess it up. Or the ceiling fan makes it go. So, yeah. And the grid lets you lay it out one day and sew it the other, and you know you're not messing it up. Okay, I'm pivoting now. I have sewn just down one edge. Now I'm pivoting and I'm going up. Okay. I don't know how much they can see here on the sewing machine.
Pretty good amount.
Pretty much. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. We are excited to be able to do our sew-alongs now in our new recording studio area here. Let me get that. Okay.
And again, you're doing 2.5-inch stitch length or 2.5?
2.5. Yeah, 2.5. I'm doing 1/4-inch seams, and the top of the ties is unsewn. It's open. So I did that one. This one I pre-sewed. And now the top, let me show you that because you saw it under the close-up camera. So this is the top of my bow. I'm going to sew all the way across the top edge. The bottom is where I have those little holes marked at either end.
Okay.
The 1.5-inch hole. And if I didn't mess it up. So now I'm just going to sew a 1/4-inch seam all the way across. I'm going to leave the side edge open.
You know what this would be a cool technique to use with is to make towel scarves out of these.
Oh, yeah.
You could make mini charm towel scarves.
Oh, that's fun.
And then just put the waffle towels at the bottom. Make them a little longer.
And stick them in. Yeah. Oh, let me I also, if you notice, I pull my pins before I sew. I don't sew over pins. If you have a needle going up and down and a pin here, something's going to bend. So
we should ask them. Do you guys sew over your pins or pull them out? We should do a little poll and see what everyone says.
Okay, and I'm back tacking now at each end of the seam, just because then when I turn it, it makes it easier. So what I've just sewn, I sewed all across the top edge, which will be the bow. These are right sides together. Now I'm going to do the part where I'm going to sew a 1/2 inch, stop, skip an inch and a half to leave a hole, and then sew all the way across the middle of the bottom and do the at each side. So let me do that, and then I'm going to show that to you. And then I'm going to show you how to finish the bow. So let me.
And you're almost done with most of the sewing, right?
Yeah. All that we have to do is put the little ties in. Okay, the only other sewing, okay, so what I just did, let me show it, maybe they can see this. See where I skipped?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're going to shove the tie up. So both ends have a skip. But across the top, it's all sewn, back tack, and across the middle of the bottom. The only other thing you have to sew at this point, remember my little center tie, this part?
Uh-huh.
The pattern tells you to put 2 mini charms together and sew it to the lining. I just did 2 of these because I want mine to be green. So I've sewn one seam already. Let me sew the other one.
So you're sewing two pieces together, and this will become the knot on the bow.
Yes, this will be.
You can also follow the pattern and use 2 mini charms for the top part. That's cute.
And on this thing, you can sew both sides, the bottom and here. I kind of like leaving the top and bottom open. It was easier to turn it.
Mhm.
And once I turned it, I just folded that under because it's going to be in the back. You're not going to see it. So let's go over and look at exactly what I did. And then all we have to do is flip and put the ties into the bow. So here's the one I pre-sewed. Here's the one I just sewed with you. So what we're going to do here is in this area here, we're going to snip this seam. That's so when I flip it, it will go the other way.
Okay.
Down here, I want to reduce the bulk at the point. So I'm going to cut this off. I'm not cutting my stitching. I'm just cutting close to it and reducing the bulk because there will be a little bulk in those little points.
Okay.
And that's all you have to do to prep this before you flip it. So at this point, this one you see I had already trimmed at both ends, and I cut that little area there.
Okay.
So I got one bow tie, another tie. I have what's going to be the knot. And then I have the big bow top, and I have the little 1/2 inch sewn here. And then in here, I have the 1.5 inch opening. Okay. So I've sewn pretty much everything now.
Okay.
So all we have to do is assemble this bow. And this is where I want to give you another trick. So you're going to flip each of those units out and press. So I have, let me show the before and after. So I had sewn the tie on either side. I flipped them out and pressed. And then this one, I just folded this up and stitched it.
Okay.
Because this is going to be wrapped around the bow. Ultimately, it's going to be in the back. So you're going to have a finished knot piece ready. Now, this is your test that you didn't flip this upside down. So we have the right tail done. And these were the ones that I wanted at the tips of my tail. You have the left tail done. So these are just pressed like that. Okay. And the back side is just my back fabric. Okay.
Cute.
And then the other part we had, just to make sure I didn't do the holes wrong, I had the left side of the bow here and the right side here. And then my hole should be at the bottom, right? I have a hole here, 1/2 inch in, and I have a hole here. There.
Perfect.
Now, this is where I want to give you a tip. Because
we like tips.
Yes. The easiest way to orient these is remember, this is the center of my bow. This is where it's going to squish. And I know this is left and right. So I know my bow is going to ultimately go like this, right? It's going to wrap behind. So the real question is, how do I put the tails in?
Right.
So first off, what we want to do is we're going to do a little pleat here and sew that. So I'm going to just gather this in, and you're just pleating it to be like a 1/2 inch wide. And I'm just putting just a little pin just to hold it in place.
Okay.
And then I'm going to pleat again. And the pattern tells you to do the pleat here and sew across it. That's just to hold it in place before we're going to shove it into that opening. Okay?
Okay.
So let me go over and get those two sewn. So right now,
all right,
I am just sewing. What I'm doing is I have the little pleat here and a little pin. I'm just going to sew across the top just to hold it in place. It makes it easier when we're going to put it in the little hole.
And then are you backpacking at all or just going to your back?
Okay. Yeah. So I just sewed that one. And then let me sew this one. So, and I'm leaving those dots reminding me what's the left tail and the right tail. Because I want my little design to not get mixed up on how I pick the colors of the mini charms. Okay, so I have a left tail pleated and a right one. So now it's ready to go into those bow loops.
Okay.
So let's go over here.
Okay.
And this is what helped me. Let's see, let me get this. Yeah, like that. Okay. So I kind of pretend I know this will be how the bow's going to come across. And then I'm going to put this into the back sides. Because your question really when you sew this is, am I putting it into the left side correctly or the right? They will show you a picture in the pattern that just looks like this. Which if you have some spatial issues, you're like, well, is it the left tail or the right?
Right.
So this is how I knew I want my left one to go in this way. Okay. And we're going to just put a little pin. You're just shoving it the 1/4 inch in for the seam allowance, and we're just going to stitch that down. So that's my little tip. Is then we have the right bow here with the little hole, and now I'm just going to put the right tail right in there. So if you have spatial issues, this kind of helped me to make sure, because what you worry about is you're sewing it in this way, but it's the wrong way.
Right. Like you think you're putting it in the right way.
Yeah. So that's my other big tip. So.
Or just make sure the mini charm side hits the lining side.
Yes.
And if
but
you
then
have
you
lining,
get mixed up on what if you're
that is
dealing
true
with the left or the right.
That's true.
Okay, so let's go over to the sewing machine.
Okay.
And let me show you again what I'm talking about. So I took that bow and it says left and right. I folded it back because I know that will be joined. And now my left and right are stuck. Are they correct?
Left and left, right and right. Yep.
Okay. So now all I have to do is just sew across them in that little hole.
Okay.
And we are almost done with our bow, Michelle.
Woo-hoo.
Are you getting excited?
Yeah, it's going to be so cute. I love this Christmas line, but this is so cute in any different type of fabric.
Yeah, I picked this one because I get to keep the sample and put it on my Christmas tree. Mm-hmm. So, okay. And people said you could put it up at the top of your tree too.
Or on your mantle by your stockings. Mm-hmm. There's lots of things you can do.
You can make a garland with
garland.
Yeah.
Put it on a Christmas wreath.
You could hang them on the built-in board in your sewing room.
You could hang them on the back of your chairs at your dining table. The bows are here this year.
It is a bow year. Okay, so this is how it looks. Okay, so we have the tails in. Now all that we have left to do is sew the seam for this loop. And it's up to you. I decided the seam was going to go to the inside. It doesn't matter. So I put right sides together and sewed that seam so that the back, the seam, well, you're not going to see it when the bow ties. So it really doesn't matter. But I had it so you wouldn't see the seam. So it's all I'm doing now is putting right side together. I'm going to sew that little 1/4 inch seam. And we have done all the sewing for this bow. We just have to do the final assembly with the little bow tie around it. And then we're done.
All right. It's so exciting.
Yeah. So
they definitely seem harder than they are, but they seem pretty easy once you do the step by steps.
So see what I have here? Now all that I do, it looks really weird. I flip it right side out. And now we're just going to gather it up.
Cute.
So I'm going to show you one more trick when I gathered it, which is I took the little, you can take a little hair tie or rubber band. Oops. Like I bunched it down and I put a rubber band around it, and then I'm going to put the tie. So let's just do that over here. So, okay. So what I'm going to do here, just so you see what it looks like up close, here's my raw edge. The back side of my bow is all sewn. The front is all sewn. This is that center seam. And again, I know this is the left and the right. So I'm just going to bunch this up however you want. That's a very technical term. And then I'm putting this little rubber band. It's a clear rubber band just to kind of hold it in place for me before I wrap that little piece of the fake bow knot.
And then you're pulling one of the tails out through there.
I pulled one of it. So I don't know if you can see that rubber band. I probably should have picked a colored one.
No, they could see it.
But there's a little rubber band there. At this point, I can take my little stickers off because I know.
You got your orientation right.
But see how I said you only see 3 to the left and 3 to the right. So anything in the back that's left over is going to be in the back of your bow. Okay, so the last thing to do is to put this little piece around, and I glued it with my liquid stitch. You can sew it if you want, but I'm going to glue it because that's what I like to do. So what I found was I'm going to wrap this way where the finished edge will go down back. So I just kind of pleated it in just to make it look like it's bunched. And I'm going to wrap it around. And now let me flip it here. And I'm going to flip it over here to the back. I'm going to put a little glue. Now, liquid stitch is a fabric to fabric glue. It's permanent. It's not going to come apart, and you don't have to sew this then. So I'm going to put a little glue here. And then I'm going to put a glue and here.
And then this dries clear, right?
It dries clear.
So if you make a little mess of it, don't worry, it will dry clear.
And then it's up to you how tight you want your knot. And so I'm just gluing that down, and then I'm just going to put a pin in just to hold it. It dries in a couple minutes. So I just pinned it right here. Now my bow's done, you guys. Yay! And we're done.
We're done. Oh my goodness.
We have done the sew along.
What do you guys think?
Yep.
Pretty easy, I think. This is definitely a beginner sewer project for sure.
So let's show it off. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go through the notions that you could get to make these and then our kits.
All right.
And we'll do that. But this is the one I just made. It's drawing in the back. And then this is the one I made ahead. And I'm going to sew up my step out so I have a whole bunch of these. So aren't they?
It's so cute. You see, when it dries, you take your pins out.
Yep.
And you are good to go.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to put a hanging loop on them, you know, people are hanging them off of totes. They're putting them on hair.
They are.
Whatever you want to do with them, but they're cute with the mini charms. Okay, Michelle, let's start with the notions kind of in the order that I started. So we'll do the grid.
The grid 1st? Okay, so let me flip the camera
around. The pattern up.
Now, right now, what's up is the pattern. So if you need the pattern, it is sold A. And that will be the patterns to make it. That will have all the cuts on there for you, how much you need for it, and then all these step-by-step techniques.
Right.
That one is sold A. Okay. Now, the next item is going to be our grid.
The grid. Oh, Michelle, we should unplug the iron too.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, so next up is sold B. This is the quilter's grid.
And that's what we use to make it super, super easy for us to put all of our mini charms together quickly and keep them in order and the orientation on our sewing.
And we sell these in 1 yard increments. So you're just going to put the number of 1 yards in your cart. We'll cut that continuous. We use this for our mini charm bows, our mini charmer table runners, our pot holders, anything where you're piecing those mini charms together, you're going to want this item.
Yeah.
All right, next up is our handy dots.
And the handy dot is what we use to mark our orientation on our different pieces, like the left tail, the right tail, the bow. And these stickers, you can reuse them more than once. You can iron on them. And the glue does not affect your fabric at all.
Okay.
We really, really like it.
Next up is our liquid stitch.
Ooh, mom's favorite. So I use the liquid stitch for gluing the back of the little knot piece. And you could sew it if you wanted, but I just liquid stitched it. You could also glue in the tails there if you wanted, even though I stitch those down on the machine. So I usually do it where I don't want to do hand stitching.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
So that's our liquid stitch.
The next item is our bodkin.
Okay. And I use the bodkin to turn my pieces and poke out these points. But the bodkin has this little ball on it. And so it stops you from poking all the way through that seam. But that's what I use to poke out the bottom parts of the tails.
All right. Next up is our little Moda ruler.
Oh, Moda came up with the cutest little ruler. And I use the ruler to, after I picked the point where I wanted to clip and turn the bottom points of the tail, I use the ruler to mark the seam. And it has a 1/4 inch mark to mark the 1/4 inch seam allowance so I could trim that away.
Cute.
Okay.
I actually keep that on my desk too.
And then
Sometimes if I need to
yeah.
do that.
Oh, Seam Ripper. Okay, I was lucky enough I didn't have to use this today. But I have used, full disclosure, Seam Rippers. Everybody does. And this is one of my favorite ones. It's from Clover. I love it. And I hope you do too.
All right, next up are the Perfect scissors.
And I do recommend the serrated microblade scissors. The ones I used were Karen K. Buckley's. They come with this good top. See how it snaps on?
Mm-hmm.
That. And these are serrated, and you can kind of feel it. It grips your fabric. So when you're cutting, it holds that fabric for a very accurate cut.
All right. Next up, we have our little travel iron.
Oh, my
And
cute
that's what we
little-
love to use when you're at your workstations.
Mhm. This is the Mighty Steam Iron. I love it. It has a little comfort grip if you have any arthritis or hand issues. It feels really good on your hand. It's really a very good one. It has a non-stick surface on the bottom. So if you accidentally iron on the fusible, it's not going to stick.
Yes,
Okay.
perfect.
So
And easy to put in your travel
Yep.
bag when you go to retreats.
So okay.
All right. Next up is the 505 temporary adhesive stick.
Oh yeah, let me okay. What I use this for when you have your grid and you're still doing your layout. Let's see, where's my little pieces? um Thought I had it here. Should have been in the first ones.
Oh, they're right there.
You find them?
Yeah, they're right
Oh,
there.
good. Okay. I forgot to show you guys this. When I lay the pieces out, before I fuse them down, and especially if, let's say, I have to take a break and come back, what I do with the 505 is I had a 505 here. Did you see it?
It's right there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I forgot to show you guys this. I put a little piece of this is temporary glue. I put a little piece of glue on the area of the grid because this is temporary. And I glue these down until have everything figured out. Also, like if I have to move it from my layout table to the ironing table, this kind of temporarily keeps it all in place. And then if you later say, oh no, I want to switch this one up here, it's a temporary glue that will re-glue in the new place. Once you get it all in place, then you want to iron it down and then it's fused in. Okay? So this is just a lifesaver. It's a great product. It's a temporary glue stick.
All right.
All right.
Next up is our best press.
Where I recommend the best press is before you do the final assembly with the little knot here. I had put a bunch of best press on this. That's where you can starch these up and then they're going to hold the shape and then put this on it. Okay.
All right. And then if you need some needles, the
Yep.
one we recommend are the 9014 non-stick.
Super non-stick 9014 needles. That's because we're using interfacings and the interfacing we used was the grid. So, and the super non-stick is great because none of the adhesive will stick to your needle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. And then the last notion that I have is the Vivilux Light.
Yeah, you might not have noticed, but this is my other favorite item here. Under my sewing machine is a little Velcro thing that this attaches to, and it is a very intense LED light. See that? And it was giving me extra light so I can see exactly what I'm sewing on. So if you, not that my sewing machine doesn't have a good light, it's just, especially in the afternoon or evening, it really, really helps to have an extra light. and this is movable, and it has a USB connection to recharge it, so it's rechargeable.
All right.
Okay.
Do you want to do the threads and then the kits, or kits and threads?
Let's do threads and then we'll do
Okay.
kits.
So we'll start with the Aurifil basics. Now you're gonna type sold and the letter N, and then you're gonna pick your color.
Okay. So you just need basic color threads because none of the thread will show in this project. So we're running our basic. These are 100% cotton Aurifil. You're going to choose white, ivory, gray, and black. So those are your choices from Aurifil.
Now we also have Metler,
Mm-hmm.
and those will be
Those are our polyester.
our polyester, which is going to be sold O, and then you're going to pick your color.
So Michelle, tell us the colors. And
So you will have, so it's sold O, and you're going to pick white, eggshell, ivory, magic, gray, and black.
Yay. And these are 100% poly threads for sewing, quilting, and bag making. We like them because they don't have a lot of lint and they're very strong.
All right.
Okay, now we're going to do our kits.
All right, perfect. So we're
And-
going to start with the brand new kit that we just made to go with this sew along. And that is our Merrily on High kit. So this is the first time we're showing this one.
Yep. And your kit's going to include the mini charm and the back fabric, everything you need. You just need the pattern. If you're watching a replay, we might have different kits on our website. So just go over to our website, pinksandbeachdesigns.com.
All right.
Okay.
Now, another new kit that we have is a new Ruby Star kit, which is Trinketry.
Okay. Do you have
And
the
this is
sample?
going to be sold Q.
Oh, cute. Okay.
Sold Q.
And I sewed up the trinketry one and I put the little heart there. So you get the little heart fabric in the back. You get the mini charm and the background fabric that we pick for you. But this is how trinketry is going to sew up for you.
All right. Now, the other Ruby Star one we have is Poolside.
And am I showing the bows okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if you center it on the board.
Okay.
Okay, next Ruby Star is Poolside.
All right.
So we have 2 Ruby Star options for you.
How cute is Poolside? Look at that. So you got the background fabric and the mini charm, everything to make a cute little bow. Also, you can put your charms in the center too if you want to make the bow tie out of the charms.
All right, next up, A Cat Named Stitch.
Oh
This
my
is from
goodness.
Camille Roskelly.
So super cute. All the blues, the greens, the little corals in there, the light pinks. This is Cat Named Stitch. Adorable with a capital A. And if you're a Camille fan, you'll want to put this one in your sewing room for sure.
Very cute.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Joyful Gatherings.
Okay.
And
a Christmas one that we
now this one you might get an alternate red background. It will be one from Joyful Gatherings.
Okay.
But we still have some with the little houndstooth, but there will be some that have another red background too. But super cute one.
Yeah.
From Joyful Gatherings. That's actually the bow that started it all, Mom, right?
Yep, it did.
That was the one that we made our first kit out of.
Yep.
Okay, next up, another cute Christmas one from Poinsettia and Pear. This is by Sherry and Chelsea.
I love this one with Sherry and Chelsea. So, cute little mini charm. We've given you the cute background that's in the reds. You're going to have so much fun just laying out how you want your bows to look. And remember to put the whites in there in the front along with the colors because it gives you a little more contrast on your bows.
All right.
So.
Next up, Honeyed Horizon.
Okay.
And this is going to be a fun one for summer, for spring, anywhere you need some fun, joyful colors.
They would also be cute on the sides of curtains.
Oh, yeah.
I've been looking at these bows. The bows are about 14 inches long and about 8 inches, 10 inches wide on there. But this is Honeyed Horizon.
Now, the next one we have is Kindness.
Mhm.
This is a cute one from Deb Strain. And how precious is that one, Mom?
It's
That would be
really
a cute
pretty.
Easter bow for a little girl.
Uh-huh.
Put on her Easter basket or
Mhm.
put in her hair.
Mm-hmm.
This one.
It has the little roses in there, the peaches, the light pinks. There's little butterflies in there. too.
Mhm.
So you're going to get in this kit the mini charm and the background fabric all ready to make your bows.
All right. Next up, we have Blueprint, another one from Camille Roskelly.
I'm going to have a pile of bows here.
You are.
So, all right. Look at this. All the shades of blues. Blueprint, Camille Rascali. This one here.
Now,
And-
we have another blue bow that we haven't made the sample.
Mhm.
But if you want to get the fun one from Bluebird's Nest.
Oh, from Kansas Trouble.
From Kansas
Yeah.
Trouble. So
So I'll leave this here, but this is Bluebird's Nest. So it's a Kansas Troubles version of a blue and cream. We haven't made a sample, but it would look just as pretty as the one we have under it from Camille Rascali.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right.
Mhm.
Next one, we have a Tula Pink one. Now, this one's a little bit more than the other kits because the mini charms from Free Spirit are a little bit more, but
Mhm.
it's equally cute for
Oh,
any
and-
of our Tula Pink fans out there.
And this is the hard to find Tula Pink little mini charm pack. Only Moda makes mini charms, and every now and then Free Spirit has been making them. So we grabbed them for you.
Mhm.
If you're a Tula fan, that's your Tula bow.
All right. Now we have a couple other kits that we haven't made a sample for. Sunbonnet, which is going to be very similar to how Kindness feels. It's just going to be in the Sunbonnet collection.
Yeah.
We have
so
a few of these still available.
Just the way these lighter colors look, the Sunbonnet is blues, corals, and creams and greens. So this is from Heather Briggs of My So Quilty Life. And so again, it would be a light color palette here. Okay.
Now, the other one that would be similar to this one is the new My Secret Garden from
yes.
Stacey Issue.
And this is the brand new My Secret Garden. We haven't made a sample of it, but post one if you sew this up. Post it in our studio group. And this, we've even included the gingham in the back for it. So this is the My Secret Garden kit. And it will be a lighter bow, just like the one underneath.
And then the last kit we have is our Coven
Ooh.
from Robin Pickens.
If you want a Halloween bow, Coven from Robin Pickens. So cute. In the blues and the oranges, different shades. So, okay, I have a pile of bows now.
All right. Now I'm going to put the pattern up one more time. It is sold A. So if
And
you
then
need the pattern,
right. Okay.
sold A.
All right. So join our Facebook group, Pink Sand Beach Designs. You can download our free app at your app store or hop over to our website, pinksandbeachdesigns.com, where our sew-alongs are there and our products. And this will be up on YouTube, Facebook, and our app.
Now, if you have any questions after the sew-along's been posted, you can email us at hello@pinksandbeachdesigns.com. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
All right.
All right.
Hope you enjoyed our sew-along.
All right. Bye, everyone.